Follow the AI leader who will lead the integration of AI with EDA. That story has not yet been written, but there's some unlikely contender. In 1980s, a common expression was nobody ever got fired for buying IBM. It was considered a safe option long after the new technology had emerged. While it may not have been the most advanced option available, it remained a safe bet. It had an established ecosystem and it was known quantity. But who or what is a safe bet when it comes to AI? Who has the necessary data? Who has the right people with the best knowledge and the ability to create good solutions? Who has the money? For each of these questions, you might point to a different group of companies, but the problem is that none of them likes to share more information than they have to. That means that everyone is playing with less than a full deck. EDA companies have long been the supplier of tools to the industry because they can create a good economies of scale, but it was not always the case and it may not be happening today. In the early stage in the early days of the semiconductor industry, every company produced its own tools. There's no there were no standards, and tools often were seen as differentiators. As standards emerged and each company realized its tools were similar to those of other companies, it was no longer cost effective for them to maintain their own. In many cases, they gave the technology to EDA companies in exchange for free maintenance for several years. This may be the happening again. We've seen the systems and software companies become the hardware developers again, both at the semiconductor level and system levels. Google has been developing its tensor processor for several generations, along with some proprietary tools. It has trained AI models to understand the value and aspect of its design, and has reached to the point where the AI can design systems better than the manual effort. It developed task generation tools, some of which have been made available for RISC-V. NVIDIA has developed several tools, including ChipNeMo, according to NVIDIA's website, instead of directly deploying off-the-shelf commercial or open-source LLMs. We instead adopt the following domain adoption techniques: custom tokenizers, domain adaptive continued pre-training, supervised fine-tuning, the SFT, as with the domain-specific instruction, and domain-adapted retrieval models. The list of researchers attached to this single piece of work is significantly larger than any engineering teams within an ADA company that I am aware of. This is just one piece of work. Others include simulators, static timing analysis engines, pricing route, and more. Where does that leave everyone else? These tools are not for sale to the general public, and even if there were, it is not clear if they are equally applicable to designs outside of the area in which they are specifically trained. It's much easier to build a tool that only has to do well on a small range of designs. EDA companies do not have that luxury. While EDA companies have the most experience in the development and maintenance of tools that serve the mass market needs, they do not have access to all the information necessary to do this, or even to know the types of problems that internal tools are being developed for. Some have limited visibility in such areas such as high-speed interfaces, but they also are likely to have developed tools to enable them to build these interfaces faster and better than their competition. Making this public may not be in their best interest. This is why we are seeing more tentative steps toward melding the EDA and AI. EDA companies can and are developing the agentic solutions around their own tools. They are providing APIs and MCPs to allow their customers to develop their own solutions that may or may not integrate their own internally developed tools, but they may not fully understand why certain demands are made of them. Researchers and startups have freedom to explore new ideas, new possibilities, often without having to consider legacy, but they can make their solutions very difficult to integrate into existing flows. They also do not have the financial ability to train models or to support a large number of customers, and making adoption slow, something that nobody had the luxuries of these days. So this is why we are seeing the tens of millions of dollars of venture capital pouring into EDA startups in the hopes that it will enable them to grow quickly. This is the first time we have seen large investment coming for the technologies that are expected to disruptive in the past. So these did not pan out. Today's landscape is like the Wild West, and everyone is trying to work out who they can trust, who they can partner with, and how to satisfy the needs of the industry. But while we can probably predict the long-term status quo for the industry, although maybe not the company that will be at the top, the short term is a lot more difficult to predict. Okay, thank you for your time. See you next time.